Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 28, Tuesday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night at 1, Wednesday, we will have a Time for Change call at 9 p.m. And then this Friday, a reverse aging health call. Understanding that loving ourselves is as essential as breathing. Look within and notice what it feels like to love yourself exactly as you are. Feel the warmth that you have for this rare treasure and precious gold mine of presence that you are. Let this love permeate every part of your being, and know how refreshing this eternal fountain of love is. Misery does not exist in reality. Misery does not exist in reality, but only in mere imagination. Ramana Maharishi. Imagine what it would be like if you could experience unlimited amounts of pleasure every day. Here's a question to ask yourself through the heart-mind. Do you think you could handle it? So I invite you to take a journey back in time and see if you can remember the most pleasurable experiences of your life. And that's right, if you could choose just one or two of your most memorable experiences, what would they be? What kind of pleasure really touched your heart and made your life sing? Perhaps it was your first kiss, or meeting your first love for the first time, or perhaps just hanging out on some weekend with your best friend or the best lover you ever had. The secret to this exploration is knowing what made this experience more magical, special, and memorable than any of the others. As you access these ecstatic memories, try to summon a full body sensation of joy that allows your mind to relax, your heart to soften, and you feel something has let go of all your fears and worries inside. Even though your joyful memories are just memories that lead you away from the divine present moment, each memory you have still serves a very powerful purpose for each of us. Each of your happiest memories have the power to instantly generate a pool of pleasure chemicals in your brain, which help you to relax deeper into your heart. And this present moment, pleasurable memories can give us a jump start to reach even higher states of bliss throughout our day. Just reviewing one of your positive memories can slingshot you into feeling deep appreciation for everything and everyone in your life right now. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Carl Sagan. The golden secret to this exercise is to relax into whatever joyous memory that first arises, and then just keep opening up to others that are connected to it. It's like a cascading event. Explore your past from a place of curiosity, gratitude, and allow yourself to participate in the pleasure again and again and again. Imagine as if you are physically there right now, instead of feeling like you're sitting in the back row of your inner movie theater. Let your memory be as real as this present moment. Be sure to really feel how your whole entire body reacts to the memory. Sometimes we get so up in our heads about things that we miss out on the vast array of phenomenal feelings which bring out a deeper exploration of feeling our life as it is happening right now. This moment contains the entire universe, the source of God, which is like the bliss of 100,000 orgasms. To even stick a toe in this sacred pool of energy, we may need some guidance. And this pleasure meditation is like a supercharged springboard to catapult you there. To experience the source of God, the greatest pleasure in life, in this life, we simply need to go deep within the mind and surrender to the stillness at the very core. This almighty pleasure is found in the deepest source within us, underneath all the mind chatter, in an unconditionally, deeply eternal, loving resource state that is limitless, without boundaries, and always available. It is found in the state of pure being. This ultimate pleasure requires no thought, no memory, or desire to arrive there. You don't need a ticket or practice 10,000 mantras to arrive. It's simply a deep state of surrender, relaxation, and profound trust in this divine moment. The greatest pleasure in this life is the one that is without concepts or effort. We don't have to do anything to attain it. It comes from just relaxing deeply in the here and the now. It arrives the moment you feel into your life, letting go of the continuous doing and efforting machine and soften into pure being. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. Albert Einstein. Those normal, everyday pleasures that we are all used to experiencing happen because of something outside of our bodies. Whether it is food, a compliment, raw chocolate, money, or a hug, we've been conditioned to find pleasure as something that comes from outside our physical bodies. Now, we may think that we're dependent on the outer world for all of our pleasures, and yet we are not. We can access an amazing infinite source of love, bliss, freedom, and pleasure from within our bodies and minds at any time or place. The ultimate pleasure comes on its own accord when we are ready to receive it, when we are open, relaxed, ready to laugh, sing, dance, or simply be quiet. It finds its way into you. Remember this and choose to immediately relax your face, forehead, and heart. Take time to explore this divine state of being inside your body. The deeper you can go into it, the higher you will feel about life. Within 25 minutes, you can unravel years of mental battles that you have fought and won and free yourself from the hidden fears, doubts, and worries you've entertained. Right now, choose to start releasing any suffering you are tolerating inside and start doing what feels more pleasurable. This moment, right now, is a very sacred moment. You can use this moment to destroy the illusions your mind has created, or create new ones. You can choose to liberate yourself and start accessing your true unlimited pleasure now. You are not this brain, not this body, not these feelings. Just take a few minutes and feel that. We are all souls that will never die. We are an infinite, immortal, pure beings of light. Breathe this message into your body on a cellular level. Let every cell and every atom in your body and mind feel this greater truth. Let it sink into your core and permeate the deepest structure of your existence. It is a universal truth that instantly sets each and every single one of us free. Some people weave burlap into the fabric of our lives, and some weave gold thread. Both contribute to make the whole picture beautiful and unique. The more we dive within and discover this infinite truth of who we really are, the more pleasurable our lives become. When we focus on what is within us, we are not analyzing or categorizing ourselves. Instead, we are getting to know ourselves on a much more intimate and spiritual level. The more you can let go and flow towards that which is on the inside, the more likely you'll meet and merge with the eternal river of goodness, which is always at the core of our being. The greatest bliss is here now. Go straight for your core and do not stop for anything or any thought along the way. Only with perseverance will you find it. Once you confine yourself to this ever-present moment, you are instantly relieved from all suffering. Total inner peace and maximum pleasure are yours. Some people will tell you how the universe is not already in a perfect design. They might try to make you a believer that you should only get what you want and nothing else. This seems like the ideal situation to be in. The spiritual awakening process is always much deeper and more complex than it appears to be. If the universe was set up this way, the great mystery would be gone. If we should never know what a block, problem, pain, or failure was like, we would be without direction, feel perpetually numb, and have no longing to dig deep inside our souls to find our life mission, creativity, and spiritual path. This universe is already set up in the most intelligent manner. It's designed so that we can get a good, solid taste of suffering, anxiety, or inner turmoil, and use it to awaken with. Whenever we go unconscious and forget the divine, all-intelligent universe is everywhere around us, we instantly suffer. Whenever we allow the mind to form any judgment and register only one side of reality, then our problems begin. The universe loves us so much that it doesn't want us to live in any lie. So it wakes us up with a little stress, anxiety, or emotional pain, none of which cannot be relieved. If we don't stop and drop our judgments, another level of suffering will soon manifest. This pain is our most perfect and most loving teacher, and by welcoming it fully, we are led back to our real state of love, enlightenment, and freedom. When we all understand completely, within each and every single one of us, that the God lives at the center of our souls. Do not delude yourself by imagining your source to be some God outside you. Your source is within yourself. Give yourself up to it. Seek the source within and merge with it. Ramana Maharishi. We live in a world that ignores the fact that a supreme, divine, all-loving intelligence lives within us. We've been programmed to believe we are spiritually disconnected and must fix our broken selves to feel whole and reconnected again. We do not realize it. Yet we are just used to feeling spiritually numb, as we have been plagued every day of our lives by an overly materialistic society which is constantly seducing us with its glorified billion-dollar hypnotic media programming. We have contracted a deep case of spiritual amnesia and have forgotten how to relax into our spiritual essence and find our own intimate connection with the divine. This everyday ignorance of our spiritual nature is the greatest lie mankind is living today. It is the cause of every moment of suffering each human being is currently enduring. One may think this spiritual drought was created by mankind coincidentally and is not part of the grand divine design. Nothing is by coincidence. Nothing. There is no such thing as coincidence or without purpose in this universe. This blind ignorance is within us all on purpose so that we move more passionately towards a state of awakening. These intense levels of disconnection only drive us deeper inside ourselves to find our own soul. This lifetime we have is meant to be a deeply enlightening experience. Is there anything more important than knowing how to access our own direct personal connection to an all-powerful, deeply eternal loving source of highly intelligent creative energy that has the magical power to manifest anything our heart desires? There is nothing more vital to finding happiness in this life than knowing one's spiritual connection, and nothing more exciting than a proven way to access it, which works every single time. No matter how ridiculously stuck you feel about your financial situation, relationships, health, sex life, and future, there is always a way to reach freedom. If you wish to gain a greater spiritual perspective in this life, make the choice today to clarify your personal relationship with the divine. You can see just how far you've come on your spiritual journey by taking the risk to answering these challenging questions. What is stopping you from always being in communion with God? What exactly is your relationship with God like? What does it feel like when you are having a truly intimate connection with God? How often do you recognize and connect with the divine aspects of yourself? How is your life different when living with this connection versus without it? Now, the longer you sit with these questions and feel into your answers, the deeper you'll dig into your soul and eventually discover your spiritual connection. It is never too late to try and connect, even if you have wasted 75 years of your life on gluttonous, frivolous, mindless activities, feeling perpetually lost in a superficial life. The God source is still here. The door to the divine is always open, and God is waiting for you and each of us to come in. When you take one step towards God, God will take 10 steps towards you. Make time to redefine your relationship with the divine. And I guarantee you that your precious time will not be wasted. When I explore my own personal connection with the divine, I always first look into my heart rather than my head. The head is so full of ideas about what God is and is not, the head misses the real experience, feeling, and quality of godliness. When the mind is quiet, still, and single, pointed into the now, we can instantly find that deeply alive spiritual feeling inside each and every one of us. The God source already exists within the heart and at the core of our souls. As we relax into this place, a timeless, deeply eternal, loving, conscious energy sneaks into us and relaxes every cell and fiber of our very being. I find that God is the most mysterious thing in this universe, perhaps because it is the universe. God exists in everyone and everything. Yes, including those people you think are deeply disconnected. Have you wondered how can such an amazing presence be so spatially close to us and still be so difficult to feel and see? It's like trying to look into your own eyes without a mirror. We look at this life through these tiny black holes in our eyes, taking them for granted and not realizing they exist at all because they are so close to us. When something is too close to us, we are often unaware how precious it is. The same applies to noticing God. We are unaware of God until we take a step back and look deeper into our own reflection and the great mirror that is all around us. Realization of the self is realization of God. The self is God. It is not an experience of God. Rather, it is an understanding that one is God. From Maharishi. There is nothing more amazing to experience in this life than a direct relationship with the divine. Many have discovered through years of exploration and inquiry that it was much easier to connect with God by relating to it as an isness rather than an it. Some of us may find that God is more like a mysterious infinite energy than some fixed stagnant entity. The great isness is instantly found when we stop and feel into this eternal quality, which feels like we are always and forever here now. The isness is our infinite nature, and this can only be experienced when we are living fully in the now, exploring life from a relaxed, trusting connection. The divine isness is the most accepting, healing, forgiving energy one could imagine. The isness is the source of deep, eternal love, which when even momentarily welcomed, we instantly feel the most profound, ecstatic joy inside our hearts. The knowing that we are eternal, spiritual beings moves through us throughout the day, like a healing river of eternal liquid love. The very second we surrender our hearts to just the idea of an eternally loving isness, we immediately find peace, a sense of bliss, and a feeling of real satisfaction that cannot be compared. Knowing this isness is our basic nature, we start radiating like the sun and start shining our own spiritual essence onto everyone in our lives. The only reason we may not feel, believe, and know that God is right here within the very center of our bodies, souls, and hearts right now is because of one thing blocking the way: our overly busy, demanding, controlling, and desiring minds. As long as the mind is wanting something, willing something, thinking it is lacking something, trying to reach a better place other than the great isness that's here now, we will easily miss our spiritual paths. We will find ourselves living in thoughts about God instead of experiencing the real divinity. If we get too lost in the head, we might end up walking into some highly intellectual, materialistic, and spiritually dry future. The God source is infinitely complex, yet deeply simple. You may find that God is actually quite easy to experience. The trick is learning what it takes to fully be here now. To feel the divine isness, we must first begin feeling whatever is up for us in this moment. We must choose to explore how we can let go of the mind and open ourselves up emotionally, feeling everything that is here now. When we call off the mental search, looking for God out there, and simply feel into the core essence of our being, we find that we have been the ones who were hiding and protecting ourselves from the divine. God has always been here, is always here, radiating within every atom, quark, and existence. As we drop deeper beneath the thinking mind and through our blocked emotions, we discover the greatest source of peace, silence, and stillness. This is where God abides. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Perhaps the most radical truth you may discover about this human existence is this: we humans are either existing in some form of suffering or living in some form of bliss. We are either in one or the other. We are either living up in our heads or we are in the heart of God. Once we quiet the mind and open our hearts together, we can live a balanced life in both realms of head and heart. Doing this, we then start merging with the infinite mind of God. If we can remain in this balance for 24 hours a day, we will master this lifetime. Then every thought we think manifests into forming our living reality. By living in constant emotional connection with the divine from our core, we become a living, bliss-breathing manifestation machine, perpetually creating every beautiful idea we feel and focus upon. There are not many things guaranteed in this life, yet one thing that is 100% guaranteed is this: at some point, you're going to return to God. It will happen either when your body is still alive or when your body stops breathing. Eventually, you feel intimately connected with God again. So do not worry about when or how. All roads lead back to God. The path ahead and the past behind you both lead back to God. God is unavoidable because our past and future are just mental concepts which only exist within this living present moment. The mind alone is always blind to the divine. It is only with a quiet, surrendered mind that we may access an open, receptive heart which can see God in everyone and everything. The mind just doesn't want to realize how ignorant it actually is. It doesn't want to see how powerless, unfulfilled, and trapped it is, as this would cause a huge embarrassment to the ego. When we spiritually wake up, the mind realizes its petty search in the outer world to find everlasting satisfaction is spiritually fruitless. Only when the mind surrenders to God do we discover what absolute bliss feels like. Otherwise, the mind will continue to persist in its addictive habits of seeking fulfillment in this outer world. It will ignore seeing how true bliss is available here, now, as it needs to continue its addictive search for years, decades, and lifetimes. The mind is always trying to get its desires met by people, food, substances, money, ideas. It is in the habit of constantly yearning for something. Yet, as we all know, once the mind gets what it wants, it's happy for a short while. Then it is back on the hamster wheel again, searching for fulfillment again. The mind is deeply unaware that it can never, ever be truly satisfied. It's good to know that whatever happens in this life, there are no real mistakes. God is an infinitely positive, creative energy, and this fierce force does not know what a mistake is. Every mistake that we perceive to be real or true is simply the mind forming another judgment. There is universal right or wrong book. There is only deeper shades of truth, in which each higher layer only reveals a lighter perspective on our enlightening mission we are here to learn. I believe that the greatest goal of life, this life, is to find that God's source inside us 24 hours a day. This is the only thing which truly satisfies. Everything else falls vastly short. Feeling into our own personal, intimate connection with the divine is the most important thing we can do with our time each day. Everything else that you do is going to be the ego seeking some form of gratification, which of course will not last. Beware of the ego, as it is easily caught in complaints, negativity, and creating problems that weren't there before. Our only job is to move beyond our egos, transcend our small selves, and step into the big self that we are truly. When we finally surrender to God at the center of our souls, we will know without a doubt that we have just discovered the most amazing experience of coming home. So if you will, go to a place where you're not going to be interrupted, which I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies we are in, head to toe, inside and out. You need to visualize a place for you to relax the body completely. Take the hammock. Tape a warm blanket in front of a fireplace, whatever it may be, where you can become totally quiet, completely at ease, where you've ever kind of dozed off, but you're really not asleep and you're really not awake, but you're kind of in between, but you really are not thinking. You're not even, you don't have any mind chatter. There's nothing. You're in nothingness. You don't care to move. You aren't interested in doing anything. You're in bliss. This total quiet. All the negatives, all the anxieties, all the stresses, all the fears, all the worries melt away. So you may ask yourself, so that means that if I stayed in relaxation, the body relaxed at all times, you would only be in the now, always in the now. And that would lend it to being no mind, no ego. You would be leaving them alone, and you would be outside them. No mind chatter. No thoughts rolling in like clouds in the sky. They wouldn't be there. This is a practice that many have tried, but have always been distracted by the external reality created by all of us of this material world. We have to have something to entertain us, correct? So we create it. Unfortunately, we get too involved with it, and we leave our mission to discover the gods that we are alone. And then we suffer. The whole purpose is to still the mind, the ego, and the subconsciousness by moving into the now, by relaxing your body and surrendering all of whatever it may be that you're dragging through this life. Face them all. Never do not face them. Always face them with love and compassion. Now, we look at our bodies as we know that they are not our bodies. We are not the body. We also know that we are not the mind. We are not the ego. We are not our names. We are not our personalities. We are not our characters. That's the body, not the God that we are. So you should be able to look at the body and you see these chakras, wheels of light, roughly 7 from your tailbone to the top of your head. These are etheric spiritual energy points. You, all of us in these bodies, are etheric spiritual energy. So doesn't it make sense that we flow through these wheels of light, these chakras, and we discover many things? We know this body. We explore it right from the beginning. It's never ending. The root chakra. All connected to organs. Spine, rectum, legs, arm, circulatory system. We flow through everything in this body as the gods that we are. Eventually, we will know who and what we are, and we will heal these bodies instantaneously. So we flow through them. Every quantum quark of these bodies. That's pretty motivational to get to know who and what you are, isn't it? Perpetual energy fountain. Base of the spine, up through the head, back around. That's us flowing. What do you think creates the aura? The God that you are does. It's the shine of the love light that you are. Can't be contained. We know that those of us who are consciously aware, as parts of each other, of the gods in these bodies, that we are of the highest, of the deepest, purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We're consciously aware of this. So the soul pure consciousness, the God, enters this body, powers the body, and the body sustains the God that we are. Pretty nifty. So every step we take while we're in these bodies, we're creating paradise. And we're shining our God force, love, light, energy, 360 degrees, nonstop, 24/7, flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. It's never ending. Feel that through your heart-mind and through your heart-mind's motion picture. See it. So we've got 8 billion gods, not all awake, right? Glowing, spreading their light 360 degrees, consciously or unconsciously. So if you were to go in outer space and look at this planet, it would glow. And the glow would be so bright that you would notice that the surrounding area of the universe would dim in comparison to this God planet paradise. Now, we know that there are parts of us, not the bodies, but the gods, that are not aware, that are not consciously aware. Then there's parts of us that are. So we communicate with the ones that are. And the ones that are in all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And those numbers are in the Gugaplexes. One Gugaplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. And these are trillions of Gugaplexes from trillions of universes. Because how can we do this? The gods within us are connected in part of the gods within them. It doesn't matter where we're at. We're always one, and we always will be one, ever, beyond, and forever. This includes all the archangels, cherubims, seraphims, archetypes, ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundancia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All of our loved ones, all those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of the celestials, galactics, and off-worlders. Now, because we have these eyes with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So all these light energy beings, shapes, color, sizes, forms, configurations, we never see. We do have an awareness of a few. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the Pegasus, the unicorn, centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. The off-worlders, galactics, celestials, Again, we're only familiar with just a smidgen of them. Over 1,000 species travel through this solar system every single day. Trillions throughout the universes every single day. The ones that we know of, Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Pleiadians, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Anunnaki, Draco Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian, many, many, many more. Now that group have been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. It's why we don't see them like we see each other walking down the street, interacting. But we meet with them, we interact with them, we talk with them. We in some cases, we are saved by them, physically. But when we're just kind of out there and we run across somebody that just happens to start talking with us out of the clear blue, and we get this feeling that after we've talked with them, and after a while you get the feeling more and more because you become more and more aware. As you become more and more aware, you're able to identify them every single time. And you just basically say that was an angel. And then you feel some bliss from within. And they all have the same message. It's just that they deliver it in so many different ways. But the message is, isn't it absolutely magna glorious, stupendous, phenomenal to be alive in these bodies? And that, the acknowledgement, gratitude of that is bliss. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've mastered physical, ascending in the physical form and ascending out. And they hold pure God form, pure consciousness. We have ascended into physical and are mastering physical, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. And we may just, some of us, discover that we are the God within these bodies and that we are the light. So that when we choose to leave these bodies, not forced out of them, but choose to leave them, we will have discovered that we are the light and we will not follow the light. Why would you follow a light when you're the light? So arm in arm, hand in hand, we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. This light emanates from the God source within each and every one of us. It is so brilliant that it grazes out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brilliance. And we're flooding this planet right now with it. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. All brothers and sisters, awake or asleep, everything and everything, nothing and nothing, we are flooding it with what we are. The highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Gratitude. Peace. We begin to ascend above the planet, immediately met with a massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. Uncountable trillions, gigaplexes of lights flashing everywhere, multicolored. It kind of reminds you of the ballroom globe that reflects light. Except this one is 1 trillion times more intense. We're curious, so we look for the reflective points, and we notice as we get close that we see these microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors, so we enter them, and we discover that all of us, everything gathered, all of us, all gods, part of the one God, are learning and teaching each other. Learning from, teaching each other. And it doesn't necessarily mean that just these bodies, but all forms of the God. Squirrels, birds, trees, grasses, everything. It's amazing. It's fantastic. This is what we have available to us on our endless journey. Anybody that steps into your life for a second or more, instead of viewing through the mind their surface, maybe ask yourself, what are they teaching me? Or what am I teaching them? Or what are we both learning from each other? It's fascinating. It's wonderful. And being in deep gratitude of it. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we are the power of healing. And then we're met with the violet blue purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we are imbued from head to toe, inside and out, 24/7 eternally, with a white fire armor. This armor is nothing like any armor on this planet, way beyond that. And it comes from our God source, our pure, deep, eternal love. And it cannot be manipulated, deceived. It cannot be breached. No demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, ever. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, consciously or unconsciously, through greed, anger, hatred, fear, envy, hurried, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then possible attachments, possessions, lower dark matter, survival matter, frequency, shenanigans, in many forms. Now, if you do decide to do this, you were then met with a double column of light. The first one we created is a purple transmuting flame to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. The second column is the violet ray. This is a column of light we created to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, the purest of the purest, purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, 24/7, that the gods within these bodies are the sunlight, the sun. The sun sets, the sun rises, the rain, the rainbows, the trees, the forests, the soils, the sky, the clouds, the mountains, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are everything, and everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise, or an ocean front, or a starry-lit night sky, it is you, the God within you. It is all of us, the gods within us. It always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. But when you look at it and you're in awe of it, because it's so beautiful, then you've missed the understanding. Because you are it. You're the isthmus. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it, if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do this? Well, it's because we can. We come into full contact with a massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system. The column, inside the column, we see this huge oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this massive golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. And they're all sending out this shimmering, misty, electrified wave that embraces us like a warm blanket. And it's eternal. And the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the purest of the purest, purest. Deep eternal love, then gratitude, then peace, then gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great well-being, great wealth, great prosperity, great abundance. It's endless. And then we discover that it all is a reflection of the gods we are. Always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We see our meditative sphere. It sets center circle. We created this sphere. It holds over 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. And they don't dissipate. They don't disappear. They don't weaken. They grow. They advance. They intensify and expand. Imagine all of these, of the highest high of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, gratitude and peace flooding this planet 24/7, always, head to toe, inside and out. Whenever you choose to, you can step into it and feel it through the heart-mind. It's absolutely magna glorious. And it's flooding all of us, non-stop. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. All of our brothers and sisters, whether they're awake or asleep. It's continual. Including the tower that we designed so the golden ocean can come cascading down as it's doing right now 24/7. Flooding all of us. This is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. And all of us are drops of that golden ocean, and the golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. We also hold the essence of the golden ocean. The only illusion that any of us are portrayed toward is separation. Each of us, inside these bodies, are pure, deep, eternal love. It's what we are made of. Doesn't it make sense that we're constantly flooding it everywhere, 360 degrees nonstop, endlessly? And how powerful is it that as we discover that we are the God source, the isness within these bodies, it's just going to continue to expand. This is a magna glorious life that we all have. I'll join you in a meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. The more we dive within and discover this infinite truth of who we really are, the more pleasurable our life becomes. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning, and we'll return here Wednesday, September 28th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, and also 9 p.m. Eastern for the Time for Change call.